In the late 1980s, Nike was facing a major problem. Reebok had taken over the market. Reebok had practically overtaken them when it comes to sales because of the fitness boom around that time. And Nike were losing a lot of money. They did not particularly know what to do, and it was a major problem, like I said earlier. Now, they were thinking about what can they do at this time to get back the market, because that was the only option they had on the table at that time. They needed to get back the attention that Reebok had practically taken away from them, and they wanted to increase their sales. They did not know how to do it in-house, so they had to go to Wieden and Kennedy, the ad agency. And Wieden, the co-founder of that agency, sprung into action. They were thinking about what kind of campaign can we create? What exactly can we do that in just one campaign we are going to attract people, we are going to get back people on the side of Nike. In just one campaign, what exactly can we do that will bring back the sales, that will bring back the attention to Nike? And Wieden went into the books, he started to research, he started to think about the best things to do and how to go about it. And then he stumbled on Gary Gilmore's last words. Gary Gilmore, the convicted murderer. He stumbled on his last words, which was, "Let's do it." And that was where the idea of the legendary Nike's Just Do It campaign came from. Now, when they started this, they launched the campaign in 1988 with a series of TV spots featuring ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things. They knew that the best way they could get the attention of people is to use the dreams that people were finding it a little bit difficult to achieve to bring them back. Now, around that time, a lot of people wanted to become athletes, especially because of the boom that the blacks were having when it comes to basketball. But sports is not for everyone. But a lot of people wanted to have that feeling. And then they just felt like, let's have ordinary persons that an average American can relate to, do extraordinary things, wearing Nike. And they started to push out TV shots with these people using the Nike products, and they were not particularly even selling the Nike products. They were selling the end results to these guys. They were selling what people wanted to feel, and then they were connecting it to Nike. And automatically, unconsciously, people's mindset started to change, and they started to think in the line of, maybe I can feel this way if I use Nike. Maybe I can do this, but only if I use Nike. Maybe I can become a superstar. Maybe I can become an athlete, but only if I use Nike. So it's not like there was a supernatural power that was connected to the Nike as a product, but they were unable to tap into people's emotions, get them to see themselves having the kind of results that they knew they could not achieve, but using Nike could at least help them have that particular feeling. Now, you don't have to be an athlete, but you can move like one. You don't have to be an athlete. You can move like one while you are using Nike, right? The campaign was extremely raw. The campaign tapped into people's emotions and was deeply human, right? And that was one campaign, and one thing that I can also think of that they could do. Of course, there must have been a number of ideas that came into play, but this particular one struck deep and it got the results. In just about 10 years, Nike's sales exploded from around $800 million to, we are talking $9 billion. Just with this major campaign. And that is why up until date, that is still the foundation of everything that Nike is all about. Imagine a campaign that moved your business from around $800 million to talking $9 billion today. Now, when we are talking about results, right, or lesson, what should you pick from this as a business owner? What should you pick from this as a marketer? That was a powerful slogan that taps into the human psychology and changed the entire trajectory of Nike as a brand. So as a marketer, when you are working on a campaign, what do you think you can do? This is basically how you should be thinking about it. What campaign can you set up today that without directly selling your product, you can tap into people's emotions and get them to have the feeling of what they cannot have only when they use your product? They see themselves achieving those results, but they cannot particularly achieve it only when they begin to use your product. And for business owners as well, just like Nike's business owners did that, they did not think they had to do it by themselves. They went to the ad agency. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can come out of this. There was flexibility around it. They were doing something that Nike had not particularly tried before. So when it comes to business owners, extreme flexibility when it comes to campaign is important for you to actually get the right result. Of course, it is possible that was not, the only campaign that Nike set up at that time. Maybe they did one or two, but we do not have evidence that they tried any that failed. They could have, that we do not know about, but then they had that flexibility and they struck the Just Do It campaign, and up until date, that is still, the foundation or the benchmark, and even the slogan that we all know when it comes to Nike today. So whenever you have a challenge or you have a problem, either as a marketer or as a business owner, what exactly are you doing to change the scenario? And it is not just about doing something, it's about doing something that taps into people's emotions, because that actually is the best way to do marketing.